Hey guys, we are back with some more Kingston Frontenacs franchise mode in Eastside Hockey Manager, and we're going to try to get the rest of the regular season done in this one, because there's about 30 games left. We got a new head coach, and I have some optimism, as we are only 5 points out of a playoff spot, but if we lose too many in a row, then we're looking at the same situation as last year. So here we go. Games against Niagara, Kitchener, and Erie coming up this week. So here we go. Game against Niagara. 5-2 win. There you go. That's an important game as well against the 8th place Niagara Ice Dogs. We're now in 9th. McDougall, Cairns, Martin, Wisdom, and Hugh with the goals. And a game against Kitchener, I believe I saw. All right. Second game with our new coach against the Kitchener Rangers. And they're going to win it 5-2. Goals by McDougall and Hugh. Game against Erie. Big game. Pretty much every game is big here. From here on out. And a 5-4 victory against Erie. Lockhart, McDougall, Cairns, Golovachev, and Bernie with the goals. Game against Oshawa. Let's see. 6-3 loss. Golovachev, Lockhart, and Anderson with the goals. But nonetheless, we get the loss. It's the 9th place Oshawa Generals. That was an important game, and we lost it. Don't like to see it. But the good news is, DeRungs is back, so we're definitely going to get him back in. One of our better players. And we'll get, let's see, sort by average rating. Cairns hasn't been great, but he's a center. We need our centers there. We'll get Andrew Chuck out of there, and we'll put DeRungs in. And we'll ask Coach Dugas how many games in a row has he played. He's played quite a bit. We'll get Pichia in there for a little bit, but not too much because we cannot afford it. And there you go. Kingston wins in OT against Oshawa. Much better. Lockhart, Martin, Lockhart, and Martin once again with the goals against Oshawa. Game against Peterborough, the first place Peterborough Petes. Let's see. Yep. Kind of expected that. DeRungs, Hugh, and Golovachev with the goals, but we get not a good loss in there. So I'm putting Dugas back in, just so that we can maybe get some better goaltending. Eric Anderson suffers a 10-day injury with a groin strain, so we're going to have to replace him on D. And I guess that'll be Noah Marino going in. And as we take a look here, Callaway Mercer and Brody McDougall are unhappy. So Callaway Mercer feels the local media have been overly critical of him. All right, let's see. McDougall has lost confidence in his general manager's ability. Unhappy with me. I am in his disliked staff. Okay, well, he's not exactly doing great right now. So you know what? We're gonna scratch Brody McDougall here because he clearly doesn't like me. So we're gonna get Brian Laurie in there instead. 19 years of age, from Newark, New Jersey as well. He got a good shot. We're going to see what he can do. Okay, game against Sault Ste. Marie. Let's see. That's a 5-3 loss. Lockhart, Hugh, and Martin with the goals. But Sault Ste. Marie beats us, and that's, as I said, every game is big here, and we keep dropping games left and right. Not good. Not good at all. Flint, all right. 4-1 win. DeRungs, Vaughn, Laurie, there you go. And DeRungs with the goals. Lockhart praised, yes indeed, build up praise for him. Game against Owen Sound, 4-2 win against the second place Owen Sound. Let's go. DeRungs, Baker, DeRungs, and Vaughn with the goals against Owen Sound. And we're looking slightly better now. We're in 8th, but that's probably not going to be the case for long, as it is a very, very close race. So we're going to have to make sure that we stay on top of our game. And let's go into February. All right, game against Barrie, second place Barrie. Let's see, hope for the win. A 4-3 shootout win, let's go. And in comeback fashion too. Wisdom, Baker, and Cairns with the goals. Laurie with 2 assists, so it's good getting him in there. And DeRungs with the shootout goal. Nice. All right, so that should maybe give us a little bit of separation. We'll see. Between 8th and 9th and 10th. Game against Barrie, again, a 5-1 win against Barrie. Let's go. Fleming with the goal, but then Baker, Lockhart, Cairns, Wisdom, and Laurie with the goals. Let's go. All right, we're starting to make up some ground here. I don't want to get too excited as we're still below 500, but it's looking much better than it was before. We're now 4 points ahead of Oshawa and 5 points ahead of Niagara. So hopefully we could squeeze into those playoffs. Here we go. Kitchener, and that's going to be a 6-4 loss. All right, Gordon, Cairns, Hugh, and Cairns with the goals. And Eric Anderson is back, so we're going to get him back in because he is one of our better defensemen. We'll take Pelletier out, Anderson in. And Laurie, 6 games in, is actually our best forward in terms of average rating. Now, obviously, that's a much smaller sample size than all of our other guys, but still, good thing we put him in. Real good thing we put him in. Game against Mississauga. This is huge. All right, a shootout loss, so we get a point out of it. Bernie, Martin, DeRungs, and Laurie with the goals. Laurie's been really good so far. Game against Flint. That's a 5-2 loss. All right, Vaughn and Cairns with the goals, but we're starting to drop some games here. So maybe we look at a couple of changes with regards to the lineups. Maybe we take Dugas out for a little bit, for a break. Or maybe we take a look at the tactics. See what's going on here. So, oh yeah. First line's still set to 90 seconds because that was from the previous season where we had Iguano and Constantino and all these guys playing for 90 seconds per shift at the very end of the season. So, alright, so I've changed a couple of things up about the tactics, but I'm also going to take out Wisdom in favor of Larrabee. It worked out for us before when taking out, who was it? McDougall in favor of Laurie, so we'll see if it works again here with Larrabee. Get him in there in the third line center. And let's see what happens here against Peterborough. That's going to be a 4-2 loss to the Peterborough Petes. Kind of understandable. They're in first place. Martin and Lockhart with the goals. But we're still in 8th, so that's the good news. But we are dropping a lot of games lately. So we're going to have to figure this out pretty soon here as, yeah, Oshawa starting to make up some ground. Game against Ottawa. Come on, big game. There you go. Nice win. DeRungs, Baker, and Anderson with the goals on Ottawa for the 4-2 victory. Game against Ottawa once again. And this is going to be a shootout loss this time. That's fine. We get a point. Baker, Martin, Bernie, and Cairns with the goals. Game against North Bay. That's going to be a 4-2 loss. Not a good loss there. Mercer and Lockhart with the goals. But nonetheless, another loss. So, we're starting to drop more than we're winning now. So, I think I'm going to give Pachia another chance. I think Dugas is starting to get a little tired, given that he's played a lot in a row. So we'll see what Pachia can do here against North Bay. Game against North Bay once again. And that's going to be a 7-5 loss with Pachia in there. Cairns, Martin, Baker, and DeRungs with the goals, but we couldn't hold them off. Anthony Iguano injured for 2 weeks with a hip flexor strain. Not what you like to see, especially out of our top defensemen. So we're going to have to get, that means Tobias Pelletier in there. And of course, we'll get Dugas back in as well, because not a great performance there from Pachia. And game against London, that's going to be a 4-3 overtime win, and we're now in 7th. So nice. Golovachev, DeRungs, Hugh, and DeRungs with the goals. Game against Niagara, they're in 10th. This is a huge game. Come on, boys, don't screw this up. There you go, 4-3 win. Goals by Laurie, Martin, Golovachev, and Martin. Player of the month, Lucas Fiel, and Rookie of the month, Philip Reisnicker of Mississauga. And Lucas Fiel is of Kitchener. If we get into the playoffs, anything can happen. So North Bay is pretty much a lock at this point, but Sudbury, Kingston, Oshawa, Hamilton, and even Niagara, to an extent, are still all in this race. So let's not drop any games whatsoever here. I would like to see a nice winning streak put together in the final couple weeks of the season. All right, come on, Kingston. Game against Gulf. 8-1 victory. There you go. Martin, Vaughn, DeRungs, Bernie, Murray, and Larrabee with the goals on Gulf for a huge 8-1 victory. And that should put us in a good, not great spot, but in a good spot. As we are now 4 points ahead of Hamilton and 9 points ahead of Niagara. So I think it's safe to say that Niagara at this point would have a really tough time catching up unless they went on like an 8-game winning streak or something. So unfortunately, Connor Lockhart is out for a week with an arm contusion. We're going to have to take him out, and we're going to have to put in someone we may as well put in. We'll try out Luke Druitt He hasn't played yet this year, so... Well, actually, it was the center that got injured. He was playing third line center. All right. Well, we'll do best lines anyway. See what happens. Since Drew has not played yet, I wasn't going to get Pringle in there since he had a 550 average rating. So, game against Hamilton and Oshawa coming up. Let's hope we can get some wins here. Here we go, game against Hamilton. And that is going to be a loss against Hamilton. You don't like to see that. Golovachev with the goal. Bakaliev really... Yeah, you really don't like to see that. Oh my goodness, it is a three-way tie for 7th in the Eastern Conference here in the OHL. So we really, really need to win these next few games here. And I believe we have 2 games against Oshawa. Yeah, these are absolutely huge games against the Oshawa Generals. I'm going to see if Iguano's back. No, he's not, but you know what? We need all our best players here. We absolutely need all of our best players in this last stretch. It's basically like the playoffs. So we're definitely getting Iguano in there, and I'm going to say we're going to get Lockhart in as well in favor of, let's see, who we taking out? I think it's got to be, I'm going to take out Mercer here because he has a 656. It's a higher average rating than Connor Lockhart, but he doesn't really get any points. We need some goal scoring right now, so we're going to get Lockhart in, and we're going to see what this does. I'm actually going to put Lockhart on the second line. He doesn't belong on the third line, no way. So, Dugas, you're going to have to tough out this last stretch here, bud, because we need you for every single one of these games. All right, so the good news, we're on March 8th. Connor Lockhart is no longer injured. Iguano's still minorly injured, but... he is, I believe, close to coming back. He's at 90%. So a 90% Iguano is better than the majority of our defensemen on our team healthy. So let's go. Come on, Kingston. Come on, Kingston. Against Oshawa. Nice win. All right, they got a point, but we got 2. Golovachev, DeRungs, and Vaughn with the goals against Oshawa. Now here we have another huge game against Oshawa coming up. Oshawa's in 8th. We're currently in 7th. If we can get this win here, I'm feeling really good about our chances in the playoffs. Come on, or at least to get into the playoffs, not necessarily in the playoffs themselves, but getting in. Here we go, game against Oshawa. Oh my goodness, 8-3 loss against Oshawa now. Larrabee, Druitt, and Baker with the goals, but they otherwise annihilated us. So, looks like our spot in the playoffs still is not guaranteed up to this point. We had a solid win against them before, but they got a really, really good win against us in their favor. So we're 2 points ahead of Hamilton. Niagara doesn't have a chance at this point, but we're still worried about Hamilton for sure. So, what's our remaining games looking like? Steelheads, 67s, Hamilton, and Sudbury. So I believe, yeah, 2 huge games against Hamilton. Absolutely. And maybe even a win against Sudbury would be nice as well. Those are the 3 games we absolutely need to win. I mean, obviously, let's try to win all of them, but the 2 games against Hamilton are absolutely key. And now Hamilton has moved into 8th with that win there against Oshawa. So, yeah, I believe that means we're now 9th. Yeah. Oh, these are a couple of huge games against Hamilton. Come on. I would prefer the win here against Mississauga as well. Come on, boys. Yeah, there you go. 4-2 win against Mississauga. Let's go. Martin with the hat trick against the second place Mississauga Steelheads. Okay, we're still in this thing. We are definitely still in this thing, especially if we could win against Hamilton at least once, preferably twice. Now we do have, before Hamilton, we have Ottawa. All right. Game against the third place, Ottawa 67s. Let's go. It's going to be a 5-4 loss regulation. Lockhart, Larrabee, and Lockhart with the hat trick. But that's not enough to beat out the Ottawa 67s. So where do we sit now? Prior to the games against Hamilton. We are currently in 7th. Hamilton is only 2 points behind us, and they're in 9th. Oshawa could also jump us. So these are critical next couple of games here against the Hamilton Bulldogs. All right, here we go. Game against Hamilton. This is big. You know what? I'm going to go into view this one. These are a huge couple of games here. First period, game number 1. All right, there you go. You like to see it. 2 goals by DeRungs. 1 goal by Nurse for them. But we're up 2-1 going into the second period. Ooh. You don't like to see it. Third period. Oh. Lockhart made it 3-3, but they made it 6-3 by the end of the game. And in the final 2.5 minutes as well. I mean, 2 of them were empty netters. But that's not a good loss at all against Hamilton. Yep, we're now in 9th. We are now in 9th. We need a win here in this next game against Hamilton. And of course, Ian DeRungs is injured with a thigh strain for 2 weeks. That's not good. So he's going to have to be taken out. And he's one of our best forwards. That sucks. He is our best forward, actually. Oh, man. Who are we putting in? Who are we putting in here? I'm going to say Mercer. So let's hope that this lineup can do something here. I'm going to put Lockhart on the first line because he's been fantastic offensively. We definitely need him in this last stretch, especially in this game. And you know what? I'm going to put Constantino and Iguano together as well. We need to stack up because they're going to be playing the most for sure. All right, here we go. Game 2 against Hamilton. This is a must win. I'm calling it right here. This is an absolute must win. Here we go. 8-2. Martin and Mercer with the goals, but Hamilton otherwise absolutely smokes us. So, we have to hope that Hamilton loses their last game. And we have to win. That's the only way we're getting in now. Oh, that sucks. We were so close. We had 7th at some point, but then, yeah, it just slipped away from us. Oh, please, Hamilton, lose. Please, Hamilton, lose your last game. We need to win against Sudbury, and Hamilton needs to lose against Niagara. Oh, no, this is not looking good. This is not looking good. Because Hamilton has the 10th place Niagara Ice Dogs. We have the 6th place Sudbury Wolves. All right, come on. Let's go, Kingston. Game against Sudbury first period. There you go. Anderson, Hugh, and Vaughn with the goals. Second period. Oh, my God. These guys suck, dude. Third period. Of course. Yep, we're out. And it wouldn't have mattered anyway because Hamilton got the win against Niagara. Well, yep, second year in a row of no playoffs. We were closer, I think, this year than we were last year, but still not enough. Not enough. He wants to be with a bigger team. I'll say no to that for right now, but yeah. Disappointing end to the season for sure. Goaltenders, let's see. Yep, Dugas was our best goaltender by far. Pachia made it down to Dean Taylor's numbers in 5 games. Yeah, Pachia's bad. Let's see, defensively. So Iguano had 34 points in 54 games. Now that's definitely, yeah, that's not as much as he had last year, but he might have been on pace for a 42-point season this year. Decent average rating. Gordon with 31, so he had a lot more points this year than last year. Anderson with 27. I'd say he was a pretty good draft pick. Billy Constantino with 25. Murray with 22. And then Pelletier with 7. Marino with 5. And average ratings, anyone who is not named Iguano is below a 7. Forwards, DeRungs 754. 731 for Martin, 713 for Bernie, 710 for Golovachev, 7 for Hugh, 676 for Vaughn, 675 for Druitt, 659 for Baker, 657 for Mercer and McDougall, 650 for Larrabee, 643 for Andrewchuk, 634 for Lockhart, 620 for Wisdom, 612 for Cairns, 550 for Pringle. In terms of points, Martin had the most with 68. Then DeRungs with 59. Lockhart, 56. 31 goals as well. Vaughn, 55. So Vaughn, Lockhart, 2 pretty good draft picks there. Bernie, 43. 40 for Golovachev. 36 for Cairns, 34 for Hugh, 23 for Baker, 15 for Mercer, 14 for McDougall, 13 for Wisdom, 11 for Andrew Chuck and Larrabee, 8 for Laurie, and 3 for Druitt. So that'd be about it for this one, I think. And in the next one, we'll see what's next for the Kingston Frontenacs, because no playoffs 2 years in a row. We're going to have to make a look at a serious splash here in the off season for sure. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one.